Carmen Vitali on the show, taking us through what's going on in the NFC North. When is Jordan getting played? He's not going to practice if he's not paid. Here come the Bears. That's all I say. Training camp is here. We're visiting lots of teams. I got my FanDuel thing on. Let's go. And we will talk to who else is on the show. Oh my gosh, we got a big one today. Zaire Franklin is on the program. He finished second in the NFL with 179 tackles last year. He's a Colts linebacker. Happy to have him. And a guy who went from undrafted, love stories like this. Guy who went from undrafted rookie last year to an anchor on the Vikings defense, linebacker Ivan Pace on the program. Ravens and Bears and Packers and Texans and Chiefs. Oh my, the camp's fully underway. The other 27 teams across the league have their vets either reporting tomorrow or Wednesday. It's what a time to be alive. Training camp is my favorite because all 32 teams are Super Bowl bound. All 32 were at 100. Their batteries fully charged. There's optimism coming out their ears. And it's the best time to be around these teams as they're taking shape and seeing what they're made of. And by the way, I have bad news for anybody hoping to see any kind of drop-off from the defending Super Bowl champions. If you're not plugged into NFL on Twitter, you did not see this. If you are, you saw it everywhere. Our first taste of the Mahomes-worthy collab. There was an 11-on-11. KC Sports Network, our friends there, thanks for letting us use the footage. We love you, and it's looking pretty easy peasy. It's looking pretty lethal with those wide receivers there. Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey hung out with them last week at the O-line Masterminds down in Frisco, Texas, and they said, yeah, wide receivers are strength on our team now, and you're seeing it play off. Yeah, child's play over there with Xavier Worthy. It's, of course, just it's not just a nice, normal, deep ball. We have Mahomes sprinting to his left, throwing Brack across the middle, and then Worthy and that speed on full display for a touchdown. So good luck, everybody. Let the games begin. It was beautiful. I think it's encouraging to see, especially with Worthy missing a chunk of the offseason with a hamstring injury. You want all the reps you can get, all the chemistry, unless they just got it like that. And you don't need it, and those two are just doing that out there. And by the way, it wasn't just Worthy out there making plays either. Shout out to Hollywood Brown. Nice couple grabs for Mahomes, too. And seeing all of this got me thinking that even with the unprecedented level of success young Patrick has had at just 28 years young, and as ridiculous as this might sound, I do think does anyone want to question that there's another level to Patrick and this offense that we haven't seen yet? No, you shouldn't, because there is. Let me explain. We saw, straight from Texas Tech, gunslinger Mahomes early in his career. He had Tyreek, he had Kelsey at their peaks, at their primes, and then there were video game numbers that he was putting up. Then we saw the O-line go through some issues in 2020. Tyreek gets shipped off to Miami, and then last year we need to fight through the season with a banged-up Travis and a lot of other unproven weapons. And we've seen Patrick evolve through change after change. It's what makes you great. Can you evolve? Can you adjust? Can you grow? I always tell Richard Issakoff, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So they continue to evolve and crush it, especially during the most recent Super Bowl run, which was, in fact, their most impressive. Let's not forget, Patrick finished the 2023 regular season with the highest turnover rate, the lowest passer rating of his career, before he just turns the on button in the playoffs. He cut out the giveaways. He managed the game. He was like a different human. He picked his spots to be superhuman, and he let the defense do their thing. So it was great. And as talented as he's always been, there is no question we saw a different side of him during that run. And if he can take that Patrick into this year and maybe merge it with the gunslinger Mahomes we've seen in the past. I went and got a Slurpee this weekend in Chicago with my niece. You put a little Coke and you put a little cherry. If he can do both of those things, it's delicious. And it'll, be amazing with a revamped group of playmakers at his disposal, a three-peat. And even those, those Peyton Manning single-season Packer records are elusive, but they are the goal. And as long as Peyton records stand, there is still another level to this Patrick reaching for that and surpassing that. And I think he can get there. Hammy, KC Sports Network, amazing for giving us that footage. They were on it. They got it out there before the Chiefs got it out there. It was out there. It was everywhere. It was unsurprising, and it was just, to me, it wasn't like a wow. It was like a yeah.
Here we go again. Yeah.
What do you got?
It really was. And you mentioned some of those Peyton Manning records. You mentioned the three-peat. If you look over on FanDuel Sportsbook right now, remember the narrative kind of this whole offseason was the Niners had better odds to win the Super Bowl than the Chiefs. That's no longer the case. They now both have the same odds at plus 600 to win the Super Bowl this year. Mahomes is the favorite to lead the NFL in passing at plus 700. And Mahomes is the favorite to lead the NFL in passing touchdowns at plus 550. I feel like that one video started shifting the odds already.
Yeah, I mean, legit. And I want to know Worthy. We got to get Worthy. We got to get Worthy on the show. I know we're like we're in our off-season mode and we're looking ahead to training camp. But even the news from Green Bay, who just signed yesterday? Why can't I think of it? Kenny Clark. Him signing and Worthy. I'm like, I want them on my show this morning. I want to reach out to those representatives. I know they can't because they're in training camp, but it's like, I can't wait for the season and those plays to happen and be like, talk me through every second of what that was and what that meant. Do they have a weakness in your opinion?
I think, I don't know if it's a weakness, but just the one question mark is some reshuffling in that offensive line, the left tackle situation, because Donovan Smith is no longer there. They drafted Kingsley this year. They drafted Wanya Morris, who filled in a little bit last year, who did okay. So, if there's one thing you're going to look at, I think it's that left tackle spot, but I'm not super concerned about that with everything else they have going.
We used to do a segment on Good Morning Football back in the day called Heavy Lifting, and it was Kyle and Nate and Peter and I would go around the table and try to make the case for something, and it was really heavy lifting. And you just did that. It brought me back some retro moments here. Those odds are amazing, guys. Go have fun over at FanDuel Sportsbook when it comes to Mahomes and the Chiefs. And appreciate you, Hammy. Let's talk a little about the team that they took out to win a Super Bowl, the runner-up. All eyes on Santa Clara and Brandon Aiyuk and BA and what's going on. The Niners don't report until tomorrow, and Aiyuk did make the trade request. It was official last week. All indications sort of point to the fact that the Niners are not going to move him. There's no plan to do so. So then the question is, well, now what? Now what happens? And I said all along, I don't think the Niners trade him. It's hard to imagine him holding out, right? Giving up on the $14 million he's owed this year? I don't know. I don't see it. A lot of media back and forth about, who's got the power here, the leverage, who's undervaluing who. The issue, people, is simple. San Francisco set to be $39 million over the cap in 2025 without Aiyuk on the books at all. And with the potential Purdy deal right here in the peripheral, he's on the horizon. What are we going to do with him? And that's what this is about. It makes keeping Brandon Aiyuk beyond this season really unimaginable. It's really a real kind of a stretch. So if you're a savant at the GM position like John Lynch is, and you give Aiyuk an extension right now, you are really asking for it. You are really making some issues for yourself. But if you stand firm on making him play out this year on the option, you risk him. You risk locker room stuff, tumult, chemistry, him being unhappy, and obviously losing him. You don't want to lose him. The Niners don't want to lose Brandon Aiyuk, and that would happen after the year is done. So leverage-wise, the Niners got it. They have the leverage. But that doesn't mean they have to wield it and give Aiyuk nothing. Isn't there a gray area we can meet halfway, and hang out and shake hands and kumbaya, this whole thing? Hamilton cooked up this proposal. I co-signed this proposal. Here it is. I think this can make both sides happy. The Niners, $31 million under the cap right now. Lynch, he could theoretically go to Brandon and say, hey, we will rip up the fifth-year option. We're going to give you a new one-year deal, fully guaranteed, at around $25 million. We want you to take back that trade request, play out this year, and then let's revisit this once we've won the Super Bowl. Let's talk about this again in the offseason. Lynch doesn't need to do that, but I would say This year is the win. I talk about windows all the time, and I'm a broken window record. This is the time for the Niners to take one more run with this loaded roster before they do have to start making the sacrifices because of the Purdy's, because of everybody else. Why not do what you can to keep Aiyuk happy? Give yourself some flexibility going forward because you'll be in a disaster otherwise. And then keep the door open to a long-term deal. Have we thought about this? From Aiyuk's standpoint, it's kind of like, okay, I'll take the extra money. I like that. That's what I want. And, I know myself, I'm going to get a mega deal. I'll earn it, whether it's here, whether it's somewhere on the open market. It's sort of meeting maybe like nobody will be happy, but maybe we'll all be happy enough to make it happen and go full speed ahead to win another Super Bowl and a step towards being in New Orleans. Hammy, quickly before, and we have Carmen Vitali coming on, Zaire Franklin, Ivan Pace Jr. Has this been talked about and I've missed it because I've been making Slurpees in Chicago?
I haven't seen it anywhere. It was just something yesterday as we were talking it through, like, what's a win for both sides here? And it's really hard, as you laid out, for the Niners to give them a deal and set themselves up for future success. And, from Aiyuk's standpoint, requesting that trade, that's not, anywhere he goes is probably not going to be as good a situation as he has in San Francisco. So this is the one thing, the common ground we kind of came to that could potentially work for both sides here.
Is Aiyuk sort of I don't know Brandon. I've never talked to Brandon. Is it a move that he's doing? Is he going to dig in? Like, what is his temperament? Like, what is he about? Because there's also a world where you do this and you know how Debo is. Yeah. So what's that going to be like this season, knowing, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some, and Kittle too, right?
Yeah, and Kittle, that's something after this season. They're going to have decisions to make about Debo, Kittle, Aiyuk. They're not going to be able to keep them all, but there's a world they could keep Aiyuk and ship one or both of those guys out. So you're right. If you do something like this, it could potentially create some other feelings elsewhere. But I also think, like, from when we talked to you, he's so in on winning a Super Bowl, getting this thing done. So I think he'd be happy to have Aiyuk back in the fold, whatever it takes.
I don't think it would be an issue. I guess it just depends. I think the Niners would sign up for this because it doesn't hurt them in their future. But if you're Brandon, I guess that's what I'm asking. I don't know Brandon. Yeah. Is he going to say, like, absolutely, like, how when he puts in the trade request and all the things on social, like, is he the kind of person who's doing it as a move to get what he wants in this sort of a negotiation, or is he 100, or his feet dug in? I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what's tough because, even if he misses preseason games with the fifth-year option, you start getting docked full game checks, regular season game checks. So, as you said, the Niners really do have all the leverage here, and at some point, it's going to come to a head.
Somebody else who's not practicing, who's not putting his feet into the ground up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Jordan Love. We're going to talk to Carmen Vitali, all things NFC North. She crushes it for Fox Sports, on the radio, on the internet, on the Twitter. What's the latest on the negotiations? I don't like this. Hammy, is this Aaron Rodgers-y? If you're a Packers fan, are you like, no?
I mean, the fact that he's there at least is a good thing. Like, he showed up yesterday for camp. So I don't think I'd be too nervous if I'm a Packers fan. But obviously, you want him out there practicing.
If you're like, if you grew up around this, are you just like, huh?
It's true. There's got to be some scar tissue there.
Yeah, we have a very NFC North show today.
Yeah.
Which we're very excited with. Ivan Pace Jr. on the program. We're going to get into the AFC with Zaire Franklin. Excited about that. So what's the, and we'll get to, Carmen will tell us, but, like, what is the holdup here?
I mean, we'll see. I don't know. It's such an interesting case because he does have that 1 year that he's looking to get paid off of. And I think he answered all the questions everybody had in that 1 year, but it's still just 1 year. So, from the Packers standpoint, that's the thing. If I'm Gutekunst, that's what I'm weighing, because there's really no comp to pay him off of. no quarterback's gotten a mega deal off of just one season.
Yeah. How did Goff affect all of this? Is so interesting too.
Yeah.
Very cool. So it sounds like we're going to be on the road for quite a few days together.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much the rest of my life. Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. The puzzle I'm involved in this at all. Poor Richard is having to like deal with, because what happens is like they'll cancel their camps. They'll say like we're not practicing in the morning anymore, and then rain's going to happen and thunder, and like they're not. It's gonna it's like such an imperfect thing. And I remember like watching NFL Network when I was like in college, thinking like I want to do this. I thought it was so well produced, like going from camp to camp and like having the live presence. And I don't know, it is such an undertaking to get it done. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then software goes down, and there go our flights. Like it's like a whole like it's like the Amazing Race NFL version.
Yeah, but it's going to be so much fun. I'm really excited.
Richard
has been putting in all the extra work to make this happen.
I don't even know what. I think we're going to Green Bay. I've never been up there for training, ever. I'm lying. Richard goes, I produced a show with you at it. I was there. You're right. I was there. All right, here we go. One of my favorite guests covering the NFC North and hosting Fox Sports Saturday for Fox Sports Radio, Carmen Vitali. How the heck are you? Will I see you at Packers camp?
That's a mouthful. When are you going?
Great. Anybody want to say in my ear? August?
August, there's a chance. I haven't finalized my travel schedule yet, but I will be at Bears camp for sure, and potentially Packers camp as well.
We will be at Bears camp, I believe, as well. Let's try to link up, because it's the 5th and the 6th, I think is what I'm hearing.
I cannot believe that you were at O-Line Masterminds the one year I didn't go.
Let's start there. What happened here? Listen, like I went there and I said, I'm only here to see Carmen Vitali, and you weren't there. You are the line queen, a trench queen.
Listen, I just gotten back from vacation. It was too much. And I was putting in work with some other guys in Arizona at AQ Shipley's house, namely Tevin Jenkins of the Chicago Bears, because he trains Tevin. AQ also trains Jordan Morgan of the Packers, or has this offseason for his first rookie offseason. So I went a little deeper this time and hung out with these guys.
I love that. I wish I could like give you notes from what happened, but I just like hung out. I didn't listen to anything or pick up on anything.
So much information
Anything
there.
You would have found interesting, I didn't find interesting. So you and I could never compare notes on that. But it is why we make such a good team. You mentioned Green Bay. We got some news out there. Jordan Love, no news actually is the news. No new deal. Goody's saying he's at camp. He's not gonna practice until they come to terms on a new deal. 1 to 100, how concerning?
Oh, I'm maybe 10%.
Oh, okay.
I'm not concerned at all, because this isn't actually a holdout. Jordan Love, like you said, is there. He's participating in meetings. He's around his teammates. He's doing all of the things that you need him to do off the field. I also don't think that this is going to take that long. I think a deal is pretty close to being done. And I think the biggest indicator of that is the fact that they just signed Kenny Clark to an extension, who was due a $27.5 million cap hit this year had you not renegotiated that. Now that cap charge is down to around $11 million if SpotTrack is right, if the reporting is correct on that. So you have some more money to play with. You also just know your cap situation a little bit better for perhaps a very lucrative quarterback deal that I think is coming down the pipeline any day now.
What does the deal look like, if you were to guess? I'm looking at, Burrow, Lawrence, they're the highest paid. I'm looking 55 a year. Does he top that? Goff, the next highest guy, I believe, at 53.
I think there's a range. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Love does reset the market, because this is Green Bay's quarterback going forward. There's no question about that within the organization. There's no question about that outside the organization. I know it's a small sample size, which I think Green Bay can kind of push back on a little bit, maybe get that the contract down to like a 50, 51, 50, maybe around the Goff range, 53. But if he resets the quarterback market at like 56, I'm not going to be surprised. I just think that this is your guy of the future. Why not pay him now? I do think there is probably some back and forth about the length of the contract. Because if you look back at what Green Bay did after Aaron Rodgers' first season starting, who didn't have quite as good of a season as Jordan Love did, but still showed he was the quarterback of the future, they locked him up to a 6-year deal. I don't think Jordan Love wants a 6-year deal. I think he wants more in the range of 3 to 4 so he can hit the market before his age 30 season or at least be due another contract and then get paid again, because God knows what quarterback salaries are going to be up to in 3 to 4 years.
That's a great point. You're saying like it's imminent, but it's like been going on for enough. So what is the sticking point as the paper goes across the table? The Post-it note with the number, it might be the length of it. That's a really, really good point from Jordan's perspective. A shorter deal might be better because he believes in himself, and he's that guy. Lots of love for Trench Queen Carmen V in the YouTube comments. Lots of you two should have a meetup at the Oval Office in Green Bay. We should listen, drinks on me. Are there eggs and legs around 1 at the Oval Office? Carmen's like, don't talk about strip clubs in Green Bay. We'll be there. Let's move on to the Bears here, okay? Because they kicked off camp this weekend. No drama, which we love. And I talked a lot about how Caleb, and you have too, like, you and I've sat here saying, has anybody else walked into a situation like this? He's got the O-line that has some questions. Maybe that's something we can bat around here. But I don't know. How much better? I don't know. What are your thoughts right now as you're looking at the Bears? Maybe your biggest question even, Carmen.
My biggest question with the Bears is actually probably on the defensive side of the ball at this point, because the offense is going to have to mesh. It's new. Shane Waldron is their new offensive coordinator. He's implementing a new system. It works really well for those offensive linemen that we talked about. That mid-zone run scheme is just wonderful for not leaving these guys on an island, and that's really good news. But this means that they have to have more chemistry than they've ever had before, because you have to know what every guy is doing all across the line. But the good news is that Caleb Williams is going to have an experienced center regardless of who wins out the job. It's between Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton right now, and we've seen them alternate snaps with the ones so far in practice for the Bears. Those guys are new to the Bears.
Let's see that
they're not new to
controlling. There it is.
There you go. So right now, Ryan Bates is slotted at the center position. It could very well be Coleman Shelton, who started for the Rams last year. They both played a lot of football, and they're going to be able to make those checks and IDs for Caleb, take some of that work off of his plate. In fact, Tevin Jenkins this summer went and worked out with him, told me that the entire line is taking responsibility for the success of the offense, for helping Caleb Williams along, for making sure that they are doing everything that they need to do to help him out, which is making, like, if they recognize a blitz coming, they're going to call it out. If they're the ones IDing the Mike linebacker, they're the ones IDing the down lineman. They're the ones trying to do that for Caleb Williams so that he can register it that much quicker and know what to do from there. So they're trying to figure out what he needs from them. He's figuring out what they need from him. So far, so good from everything I've heard. It's a pretty symbiotic relationship.
Very exciting. I mean, when you have Aaron Rodgers sitting down with the part of my take fellas and saying, he was saying, I love Edmonds, I love DeAndre Swift. He was naming everybody on the Bears, talking about them glowingly. That clip's going around this morning, and I'm like, okay.
I think it's a kiss of death from Aaron Rodgers, though, isn't it? Like, he's oh gosh, even though he's not in the division anymore, he still takes ownership over the Bears, really enjoys that part of it. He doesn't like the Bears. I feel like he's just setting them up to say oh, look how good they are.
Yeah, I saw. No, Big Cat made a very funny, he was like, you were trying to get out of there before you got out at the right time. For things to get good, and he said he still loves when Green Bay kicks Chicago's ass, of course, but it's all things looking up. The question I would have, and I met him and really like him, is Eberflus, with all of the things that need to be put together, going to be able to put it together? How quickly will he be able to put it together? And how patient will these Chicago fans, and they freaking should be? Vikings, there's a patient fan base. There's a tortured soul world. Obviously,
it's always next year with the Vikings.
I know, but the situation, I like their situation. I'm sitting there next to Randy Moss saying, Randy, I think this could be a top 5 offense. And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay, well, then I guess not. But they open camp tomorrow. Are you leaning? Ideally, I'd like to see JJ sit the entire year. What would you like to see? What do you think you'll see?
Yeah, I would ideally like to see him sit the entire year as well. Do I think that that's necessarily going to happen? Probably not. It's very, very rare to see that in this day and age in the NFL, where it's a "what have you done for me lately" league. But they did get Sam Darnold for $10 million. You paid him a lot of money to start a lot of games for you. And that gives you the luxury of patience when it comes to JJ McCarthy. I also think that this roster has enough talent to carry you for a while, even with just a game manager under center. You don't need Sam Darnold to be this world-beating quarterback, top 10 quarterback, anything like that. You have an incredible receiving core when it comes to Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. You have Aaron Jones now in the backfield to lean on. And this defense under Brian Flores in its third year now has Dallas Turner opposite of Jonathan Grenard. I can't think that they're going to be anything less than a top 5 unit this year. And if that's the case, this team could easily squeak out 7 to 8 wins and not really try that hard. I don't know. I think I'm like on an island here too, just saying that I don't think the Vikings are going to be a dumpster fire. Now, I don't know what, division contention. This is probably the toughest division in football this year. The NFC North is. So,
you think the NFC North is the toughest division in football this year?
I think it's right up there with the AFC North. I think it's right between those two divisions, because think about the Packers, the Lions, and then you have all of this talent on the Bears. And if that works, and then you have all this talent on the Vikings too, I don't know. I think the Vikings could end up 4th in the division with like an 8-9 record.
You're saying a lot of good things about the Vikings in Chicago there. A lot of high expectations from Carmen Vitali, and it's all, of course, to take the Lions out, the division leader and Super Bowl contender. We love you, Carm. Love your radio show. Love everything you got going on. It's Fox Sports Saturday for Fox Sports Radio, covering the NFC North, and soon to be at a candy aisle in the Piggly Wiggly somewhere in Green Bay near you. With me.
Go to the Christmas bar. Let's do that.
All right, we'll be back. We have Colts linebacker Zaire Franklin. Oh my gosh, Zaire! Patiently waiting, cannot wait to talk to you. We'll take a short commercial break. Ivan Pace Jr. on the show as well. Are we going to Indy for camp? We got to get to Indy.
Might need to pull up.
Get that. We got to get that out there. Carm's saying there's 3 playoff teams in this division. Rip that.
That's what it looks like.
That was the headline right there. Note for you, for all segment producers, you got to put the thank you at the bottom. We got lazy. We got to get in that shape. Like to promote her, everything. I didn't have it at the end.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Check out. I want to promote everybody's stuff when they come on. Cool.
Gotcha. Yep.
I think the control room can hear me. Wow, that was a lot.
That was. I mean, I feel it. It's hard not to be excited about that division right now.
Yeah. What do you want to change this? I wanted to ask Ivan about JJ. Do we still play the bite, or do you want to change because we're overlapping on that? Richard, what do you think in Hamilton? I wanted to ask Ivan about
JJ. I think him being a player, I think.
I think what we should have done is re-racked it so that we should have done the Lions question with Carmen, since we have a Vikings guest on the show. Make sense? Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep. By the way, did you see that jersey behind Zaire?
No, what is it? Let me see. Zaire, what jersey do you have back there? Let's put us in trips.
A couple.
Hey!
DJ.
I love that. We're obsessed with Bobby Wagner on our show. Obsessed. Like our favorite guy ever. He's come on. We love him.
Yeah, I'm a little obsessed with him too.
Yeah, I would say
sometimes.
So. I would say so. I have
when he doesn't eke me out by 4 tackles. I told him.
Okay, we have 1 minute and we'll chat. Okay, Zaire?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I love that. Zaire is a Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, yeah?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yep.
It's freaking incredible.
Yeah. What he's doing on and off the field.
I know.
Absolutely killing it. And in the video game world too, apparently.
Apparently.
I like to talk about that. Yeah.
Is there? I would rather talk about like the stuff Carmen Vitali is interested in with these trenches than about video games. I'm more comfortable talking to Trey Smith about what is it? Squat jumps, spring. What are they called? Sets, spring sets, start sets.
We got to show these boys who the real ones today. There's Franklin, and watch the aggression that he comes with. Franklin here just shoots the gap, makes an excellent play, and able to get a mitt in there and bat it away.
Kid doesn't quit, man. Franklin will give you everything he's got.
And then I'll get paid for it. We love it. My next guest, one of the top linebackers in the NFL, one of the best at what he does, Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. So he's the best on the field and off it, and host of the Trenches podcast, coming into my world a little bit, Zaire Franklin. How are you?
I'm good, Kay. Appreciate you having me on.
You're just going to say you're good? If you're good, then what am I? Amazing new commitments to you. All around, the Colts sign you to a new 3-year deal. You get married this offseason. Just good?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, it's that time of year. We about to report on Wednesday, so I'm just, before my energy gets all riled up, before all the trash talk get going, I'm in my zen. I did some yoga this morning. You know what I mean? I got good chi flowing through me today, so,
Will you do yoga during the season as well? How is that part of your world?
I've something I actually thought about. I know a couple of guys, they do the whole private instructor.
Yeah.
Get her to come through on an off day and maybe get some work. It's a good way to, stay flexible, stay limber. That's how you stay explosive for the most part. So.
Do you think a married Zaire Franklin will being married take you to another level? Look at this. Look at your beautiful wife.
Yeah, my queen. No, yeah, House Franklin, first of her name. But what I was about to say, I definitely feel like being married is definitely different than being like in a relationship or being engaged. But it's something that I take full ownership of. I mean, she's been with me, my entire career from my freshman year of college, throughout Syracuse. So. She, helps make sure I'm eating right, getting good sleep and, holds me accountable on and off the field about, playing good and putting my shoes where they're supposed to be. So I guess that's what a wife's supposed to do. So.
Yeah, well, when your face is glowing up like it is when talking about Candace, I feel like there's another level to your game that we're going to see. Take me into the wedding. Any NFL friends, anybody from our circles that we would know who was there?
For sure, definitely had, the guys, Bobby Okereke, Zach Pascal, obviously EJ was there.
Yeah.
That's my brother. Definitely a few teammates, throughout the years. I guess probably the most famous person, we had DJ Premier DJ it, and then Joe Button obviously was there. That's my guy, so he pulled up, in a nice suit too. Joe had a good suit on, by the way, so let me give a shout out to Joe.
Joe was at your wedding?
Yeah, Joe Button, that's my guy. Yeah, shout out to the JVP.
I don't know that. You play it, Zaire, you play it very cool. Yeah, I'm fine. I just signed a big deal. I got married. I'm ready to, have another all-pro-esque season. I just Joe Button at my wedding. No big deal. That's amazing. Let's talk about the deal. When you get that, what does it do to you as a player? And what sort of does it reset a standard for you in any way?
I definitely think it definitely gives you a different peace of mind. It's funny, I was just talking to my mentor earlier today about just all the different things that I felt like I was trying to fight through, this time last year. One of those main things was, just knowing that we were coming into year 2 of a deal that, was really outdated and wasn't serving us anymore. Thankfully, the Colts, Chris Ballard and Mr. Irsay and everybody else. Shout out to Drew Rosenhaus, the money team, like I say. I call it the money team because we get the deals done. But I'm just thankful that we was able to get that done. It didn't get ugly. We were respectful of each other's time. Definitely seeing how everybody else's situation been playing out in the league. I'm just glad I got that done. And I can keep the main thing and, focus on football. So it's a blessing.
I think that's really good perspective because things can get messy. And I like Chris Ballard. I think he's a bit of a straight shooter. He's a fun guy to be around a little bit. But you earned it was easy because you earned it. I think it was like a slam dunk. Like, we don't have to sit here and, and talk about whether or not I deserve the money. You set the Colts franchise single-season tackle record in back-to-back years, not once but twice, right? So last season, you were on pace, my friend, to break the NFL record of 214 games before missing one due to injury. How much thought have you given that record as you head into this season?
Man, playing, every game is obviously something that means a lot to me. I broke down when I realized I wasn't going to be able to go that Sunday against the Panthers. It was my first missed game since high school. I had broke a pinky my senior year, and the doctor wouldn't clear me against a big-time rival. I was still pissed. DJ Moore was on the other team. He ended up going for like 10 catches, 250 and something. I'm like, man, I should have been out there. But, obviously it's something I care about. The tackles thing is, it's a dope thing. I feel like, my first linebacker coach, he told us that, a linebacker's job is to hit the ball every play. That's just what I try to do. But, I think, and I know it's another level to my game. I've been working all summer. I can't wait to put it on tape this year.
How many Pro Bowls do you have?
Not enough.
How many?
I got 0.
What is that? I said all-pro-esque. I said all-pro-esque, and pardon me, but while you were answering one of the questions, I Googled all-pro, and I just saw that. Nada and nada. What do you think that is? Let me just remind the world, 167 tackles in 22, 179 in 23, never a Pro Bowl or an all-pro nod.
Okay, listen, I understand, how the league goes. I wasn't a day 1, day 2 pick. I was a 7th round guy. I wasn't a day 1 starter. I'm a special teamer. That's a stripe that I still wear on my jacket very proudly. So I'm not supposed to win. I'm not supposed to be where I am. I understand that comes with adversity, but to be honest with you, I've never been picked. So I'm not going to take it personal. I'm going to just keep proving everybody wrong.
I feel like maybe people are late to catch on or something. I know you got, the Fred Warners, you love Fred, you've got the Roquans, like, they do their thing, but for you to not have a single Pro Bowl is actually insane. Like, that's not cool. I don't know that. I'm glad I asked you, but the fact that you use it for motivation makes me happy, and I can't wait to see what you do to the rest of the division and everybody. Okay, let's see. I wanted to get to let's see. I wanted to get to the Texans stuff. You ended last season, right? You have the loss to the Texans. Why are you laughing?
Because the Texans is a funny situation, but go ahead.
Why?
Huh?
Why is it funny?
No, you go ahead. What about the Texans? Great team, great players.
Oh, God.
Good guys. I like the head coach. I'm a fan of D'Amico.
Good. A lot of people are. They knock you out of playoff contention. You obviously. Why are you laughing? Talk to me.
You speaking facts. That's what happened. That's the truth. So.
Why is it funny?
It's okay.
Why is it? What is the? Tell me. What's the state of the union there? What do you feel when I say Texans? Where does your head go?
Oh, well, you said they knocked us out of playoff contention, so it's just you got to laugh to keep from crying. So I'm still grieving. That's probably what it is.
Well, you have a.
But it moves on Wednesday though. Wednesday's the new year, so. Wednesday's
the new year, and then you get to sort of get it out of your system real quick because you have them opening the season. You have a rematch. So, how personal is it?
How personal is it? Everybody's personal. Everybody's on the hit list. We looking forward to it. Week 1 at home. I'm excited to get out there back in Lucas Oil with the guys. Looking forward to seeing Anthony out there. He was killing it. He was ripping it all spring. I just saw all my boys out in L.A. The whole offense getting together. Pitt, JT, Downs, young AD. Them boys looking good. Them boys looking explosive. So I'm just ready for us to all put it on tape, man. I think nobody really, thinks much of us, but I think we got a lot to prove from top to bottom. So, week 1 is what it is, and it really don't matter. Nameless faces at this point. Whoever decides to line up on us in a different color, everybody gets hit, so it don't really matter.
Nameless faces. Zaire, I wish I could, like when you can go in your text and search a word? I would love to. I'm sure you've got group texts with all the guys that you mentioned that you're excited to see Wednesday. I'd like to just put in Texans, CJ Stroud, whatever, and see what comes up, because there's no way y'all haven't been talking about this all offseason based on how you're being right now. This is a real thing.
I mean, for sure. I mean, I think it's definitely something that's been, built up, something that's been going on. There's been some back and forth. Like I said, I bumped into a few of them in my run-ins, and that went how it went. But, as much as respect, hate, whatever you want to call in between, that we may share for each other, or maybe it's just me, there's really nothing else to talk about, because, we got a due date. So, at that point, it ain't really much to talk about. We just got to go do.
Yeah. CJ Stroud had things to talk about. He's talked about them on his podcast, of course. I don't know if you've heard this yet. It was the $1 Million Worth a Game podcast. Let's take a listen.
But, like, a lot of dudes come to these podcasts, like, oh, yeah, I'm coming to hit. I'm going to hit CJ in his face. I'm going to get him next year. Why didn't you do something? Like, where I'm from, we say, why didn't you do something where you was mad at? You was mad right there, man. Do something. Right. You could have made hella plays, bro. You could have made plays, dog. Right. You could have shut me up right there, but you didn't. Right. So what makes you think you're going to do it now? And if you do, I'm going to come back, bro, for real. Like, this ain't for no play, bro. I'm like, come on, man.
Got him in that mode.
Got me going.
What do you think?
Got him in that mode, huh? What you think?
He said, what makes you think you can do it now? Can you answer that?
What makes I think I can do it now?
He said, what makes you think you can do it now? You couldn't do it then. Like when he's doing, I don't know. I just can't wait for week 1. Can I go to this game? It's in Indy. Let's go.
I mean, first off, what I will say is, and shout out to Gilly and Wallow, $1 million worth of game. 2 Philly guys. I mean, they keep letting non-Philly dudes go in there and talk crazy about me, though. I do feel a little way about that. Me and Gilly really from the same neighborhood. That's the first time somebody else just said my name on that show for whatever weird reason. But no, I mean, look, I don't know. Did you think he sounded tough on that? Like, did that scare? Did that?
I don't really
make you feel
understand
like...
it. Is he trying to sound tough? Like, I don't know.
I mean, he was turned up. But look, this is what I'm gonna say. Winners get to talk. Winners get to go when they run. You know what I mean? He won. They Texans won. So everything that gets to come with that comes with that. You know what I mean? When you win a game, you get to say whatever you want. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
rightfully so.
I would say, Zaire, it's not like they swept you. Like, y'all won one of those games. Didn't you win the first game?
Oh yeah, we got after them that first game for sure.
Know.
Yeah, I think he fumbled and a bunch of other stuff. But
so they're 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, look, but look, it's one-on-one ball back up top, man. So look, week 1 is going to be a great game. Obviously, they made some great additions. They're a good team, well-coached team, all that other good stuff. So, but we well-coached too.
Yeah,
so,
you gave love to their podcast. How about your podcast? You mentioned EJ being at your wedding. EJ Speed, fellow linebacker. It's amazing, and I would like to sort of know all about it. It's called The Trenches. What is it like to sort of be on the mic like that? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's actually funny. Yeah, we got an episode today. EJ actually got a flight situation he got going on, all the computers and all that other stuff in Dallas. Yeah. Got my man all hemmed up. So, we got to get my man back in town. But it's great. Obviously we get on here, get to talk about everything, sports, culture, obviously football, obviously the Colts. So it's cool having your own platform, though. It's actually really dope, though. Shout out to the members out there. I feel like people be pulling me aside more about the trenches than the Colts lately. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I need to make some more plays.
How do you feel? How do you balance the two? It's a good question.
I think it's for me it's easy. Just being your authentic self. You don't never really have to put on a front either way. So when I step into the trenches. I'm speaking from the heart. I'm speaking about, where I'm from and, what I believe in. So, it's the same thing whether I'm in a locker room. It's the same thing when I'm on the field. It's the same thing when I run into these guys, wherever we run into. They're going to see me every single time. It's actually funny. I be running into people in public. They be like, man, like on the field, you this and that. But off the field, you actually pretty cool. I'm like, I guess that's a part of it, though.
What do you like on the field? What do they say that you're like on the field?
I don't think pretty much anybody, but I don't think pretty much anybody likes me on the other team. Even though I can't say that though, because the thing is about it, for every guy that I think I get under their skin, there's probably, for every 5 guys that I piss off, there's one player that we gain each other respect and we actually become real cool. So
like who? Who
as
are you
much
cool
as
with?
people I piss off,
who gets to come on the podcast? Like who could you invite and they'd come on that's a competitor?
Well, first off, shout out to Max Crosby. So we got to get Max on. So shout out to Max. Shout out to his show too, because I know he's doing his thing. Shout out to Max. But I would say one person is Josh Jacobs for sure. A lot of respect for him. We played out Vegas in 22. I mean, we was at war. You know what I mean? It was one of them type situations. We was going back and forth. We was saying a whole lot of stuff that shouldn't be said on live television. But afterwards, it's the respect, you know what I mean? If you a real dog, when you run into another dog, you're going to appreciate that mentality. You're going to appreciate that hustle. If you're not a real dog, you're going to run into a dog and get sensitive. So I think a lot of guys ain't real dogs. I saw Jerry West say something. Jerry West said, everybody want to be a dog, so he a wolf. I might get that tatted on me or something.
Wow. That is a lot. So CJ Stroud, what would it take for him to get?
I didn't say CJ. See, here you go, Kay. That's you. I did not say that. I did not say that.
Okay, so you're taking obviously like your personal life's a 10 out of 10 right now. Where you got the queen, you've got a new deal, a lot to prove. Like I cannot wait for you to be out there week 1 to do your thing. You also have the media part handled. It's amazing. You're also a big gamer. I'm not. I don't know anything. All I see is this EA Sports College Football 25 all over the time. I'm like, I don't know. All weekend. Best. Yeah. It's been everywhere. You built Syracuse into what?
100%. We got to get the national championship.
So what's going on? What 3 teams would you absolutely never play as? That's what I need to know.
Oh, never play on NCAA?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm never playing Georgia. Georgia ain't never touching my schedule ever. They a whole situation on that, John. I probably wouldn't play Alabama because I love Milroe in person. I'm actually a fan of his game. Shout out to Jalen. And then who I wouldn't play, we got to build up, you know what I mean? So, I tried this. It's actually bad because I tried this schedule. I know you don't play, but you can make your own schedule. So I tried to put, Arizona week 1, right? They, ranked, 17th. Their rating is not that far off. I get it. That NCAA is not easy, especially if you play on Heisman. So I like this. So Heisman is the top level. That's all mad. You play on. That's the hardest level. So, it's a little humbling. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. We started off the year 0-1, but we shaking back. We shaking back when I get some time. So I gotta make Syracuse a powerhouse. But them boys gonna be nice this year anyway. They got a good team. You've got to build Syracuse into a national champion. I literally don't know what you just said. You just said a bunch of things and look,
Heisman level.
All the guys out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. They know the grind. Just know I'm on the grind. Girls too, just not me. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. Zaire Franklin, congratulations on everything, including the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee last year. And you're only going to continue that and keep that going. And we love you. And you're one of those people where I feel like this could be on mute and your face says it all. And I like that about you. So Zaire Franklin, people might not like you on the field, but you're coming there week 1. Enjoy camp, and maybe we'll see you out there. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Kay. I will say, I feel like releasing this before training camp, not a smart idea. I bet you NFL coaches hate that this college game is out there because it's all y'all are talking about. Okay, we'll be back. We have Ivan Pace Jr. on the program. I feel like releasing that, maybe not a good idea for the NFL at large, Hamilton.
Yeah, that's all that's going to be going on at camp as soon as practice is over.
Yeah, do you think Andy Reid at St. Joe's is like, let me see your backpack. No video game consoles. No whatever.
Would not be surprised.
Kay being messy to start drawing. Except, do you guys see my face during? I don't even know. Why is there? He's asking me, does he sound? I don't know. I don't know what this. I'm curious, but I don't know what the. I don't know. His face he answers the question before you ask the question.
Yeah. No, that week 1, that's going to be as exciting a matchup as we have in week 1, given how the season ended and everything that was said afterwards.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a lot of it to the Colts. Talking to him, talking to EJ, I think it's the fact that the Texans won the game and they. There was still a lot of talking and all the stuff that went on afterwards. I think there's that feeling, you won.
Shut up. Yeah.
Let it go. Yeah.
People are I'm always going to go for the team that isn't hyped because it's just a safer bet. And I think people are really sleeping on Indianapolis.
Yeah. I mean,
McAfee gives them lots of love, which I like to see. But I think he's there.
But no,
but I think whole, I don't think so.
And you look at that roster and what they have. If Richardson and the talent that Richardson has, it really is.
All he has to do is be Richardson, and
I mean, they were an inch away from going to the playoffs last year without him.
There's a way of you can't get too hot about I don't think C.J. Stroud's gonna overheat, meaning is the defense has to not over not. It's all going to be up here for that first, from what it looks like.
Yeah. Because they have everything. It's just, how do you manage it now?
How do you manage whatever I just saw on TV?
Yeah.
Just so y'all, people think I'm not, I have no idea. I had no idea. CJ... Man, I told you about this month before it started. CJ is out and about. You love to see it.
We're going to see.
You love to see it. I love it. And I like listening to him too. Okay. All right, racking up over 100 total tackles as a rookie for the Vikings last season. Please welcome Ivan Pace Jr. How are you? Coming from a car near you. Where are you?
Somewhere in Wisconsin. I'm on my way back to Minnesota. But I'm doing good. How you doing?
What happens when a Packers fan runs into you there? I feel like you're in danger. Blink if you need help.
Nah, I don't need help. I'm ready.
Okay, so we're getting ready for 2024, but we can't do that because we've never met. So I want to talk about 2023, and I want to talk about Week 14. And I want you to maybe see this. Hopefully, you can see this on your phone. Y'all are up 3-0 against the Raiders. Less than 2 to go. Clutch interception. Talk me through this. How did this backflip come so easily to you?
I don't know, man. I've been flipping since I was young, and then I just tried it in college one day on full pads, and then I've been flipping ever since. So I had my time to shine one time with this, and I did it. It felt good.
It felt good, and we're ready to bring that to 2024. You made an impact on your teammates right when you got into the league. Here's safety Cam Bynum, and what he said was his first impression of you. Listen.
Yeah, he's kind of crazy. It's a screw loose. That's one thing that we saw early, okay, yeah, this kid's wild. And it was kind of surprising how he went undrafted. Just seeing his play now, I never watched his college film, but just seeing what he can do now is that's a surprise. And we got a steal out of him, and we're proud of him.
Why do you have a screw loose? What screw is loose? Which screw?
Man, I think I got a lot of screws loose. I'm just crazy. I'm a mad dog on the field, so I don't know. It's crazy.
You went from undrafted rookie to making Pro Football Focus's all-rookie team. It's amazing. You just heard Bynum talking about it. At this time last year, before training camp, what did you want to accomplish? Did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish in year one after all said and done?
I accomplished a lot more than I thought I was going to. But I feel like it was a good season for me. Just going out there and balling and knowing what I can do, and just people having doubts for me, and I know I will overcome all that. So yeah, I think I did pretty good.
There's some metrics that say PFF has this. Only 2 linebackers had grades over 77 for both coverage and pass rush last season, and you were one of them. Do you know who the other one was?
No, who was it?
Fred frickin' Warner.
Man, he a dog too. So, hey, that's good to be up there with him.
Yeah, I'd like to know from you, and as you're building your NFL career, you're so young, amazing season. Who are the best 3 linebackers in the league right now?
In the league, I say me, Roquan, and Fred.
Why you?
Yeah, me, Roquan, and Fred Warner.
Why you?
I say that because I say that just because, like, I know I got that dog in me, and I was undrafted, and people didn't want to take a chance on me, and I just know what talent I got, and I know I'm going to be one of the greatest linebackers in this next year, next couple years coming. So I'm trying to be, like, I was top 20 backers, something like this year, so I'm trying to be up there in, like, top 3.
Is being undrafted a superpower?
Once I figured out that I wasn't getting drafted, and then I did, and then I went undrafted, I felt like it was more of a, like, yeah, it gave you more, like, all right, they don't believe in you, so let's take this chance that they giving you and making the team and then showing out. So yeah, we can say it really is it's more of a superpower. It's more strength, and put a chip on your shoulder to go play harder.
Well, they
and show them what they missed out on.
Your team believes in you a couple times. I saw that green dot on your helmet a few times last year. Are you wearing it this year?
I believe so.
Shut up! Let's go! Really?
Yeah. We lost Hicks, and then when he went down last year, I took over, and they gave me that trust that they had. So I believe now that he's gone, we're definitely wear the green dot next year. This coming season. That's
amazing. I love that. That's amazing. Congratulations on that. I wanted to ask you quickly.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Harrison Smith, because I saw everybody was talking about ESPN doing a list of top 10 safeties. He wasn't on it. He takes less money to stay there, 13 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what a leader is. We know, what does he have left when you look at him at 35 and people want to say he doesn't belong on the list, he's long in the tooth? What does he have for the field this year?
Man, he's a great guy. I feel like he has a lot more to do, a lot more to prove. Even though he proved so much in his career, just looking at him, being one of my role models on the team,
mm-hmm.
He's like one of those guys that he's always gonna be down for you, and no matter where you are. And he deserved to be on that list, but he wasn't. And yeah.
Why'd you change your name to 0 this offseason? Last one, a couple of seconds left.
I changed my number because I don't know. I just wasn't rocking with the 40, but I did what I had to do with that number and get by. And then now that 0 became available. That was my number in college, so I just grabbed it real quick. And now I'm gonna show everybody, like, I'm really that dog now.
Move over, Roquan, with that 0. You're not the only one that has the 0. That's what I like. Okay,
yes,
well, good luck with everything and the Vikings this year. And obviously wearing that green dot is so exciting. And there's a lot to look forward to. I said y'all have a top 5 offense this year with whoever's at quarterback, because you have it like that. The defense a big part of that. And so tell B-Flow what's up and just enjoy camp.
I will.
Thank you, Ivan Pace. Let's go. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, guys. More guest training camp in full swing.